Hello everyone and welcome to week 4 of my fantasy football Batterick prediction videos. Before we start, can we all take a moment to agree that week 4 buys are worthless? They don't help the team, they just mean that you build up a decent amount of momentum and then suddenly your team takes a break, and it's just really frustrating for the fans of that team. Anyway, this is about fantasy football, not about the actual NFL games. So let's get into me versus Ian right here. Ian, he's gone off to a decent start. He got 3 touchdowns from Wentz on Thursday night, which has given him a respectable start to this one. Ian also comes into this game with wide receivers on very good matchups. He's got Allen v. the Dolphins. He's got Cup versus that young Tampa secondary. And he maybe even has McLaurin versus that Giants team that got absolutely humiliated by Mike Evans last week. McLaurin's status is questionable. He has a hamstring issue, and I think his health and whether he can fully go or not will be the determining factor in this game between me and Ian. If he's limited in any way or he even isn't able to go, I think I might win. But I've got confidence he's going to be able to go. Play a normal amount of snaps, and because of that, I think I'm going to back Ian to win this week. We should make sure we watch that Dallas Saints game because we have a total of 3 players going in that one, Ian. It's going to be an interesting one for us to watch. Andy versus Brad is next for me. Brad has gone very strong on a Kool-Aid on 3 very particular teams this week. He's starting 3 Giants, he's starting 2 Lions and 2 Bengals as well. Andy has done a much better job with his roster construction this week. He has no 2 players from the same team in his starting lineup, so he's very much spreading his points around. I like Andy's chances more this week, I think mostly because of that. I'm not a big fan of the Lions, I'm not a fan of the Giants, and I'm not a fan of the Bengals in any real way. So I'm going to back Andy to win this week. Be sure to watch that Skins Giants game though, because you have so many players going in it amongst the 2 of you. Tread v Mo, we've got a 3-0 versus an 0-3 here, and it's quite obvious who obviously needs that win more based on that. Lots to like in this matchup, especially with the wide receivers. 4 out of the 5 wide receivers currently on starting lineups in this one have had at least 10 targets in either of our last 2 games. And if that can continue, you're going to see a very fascinating high-scoring matchup from these wide receivers. It's always tough to pick a winner between these 2, but I think when you're in doubt, you tend to go with the team that's undefeated versus the team still scratching for its first win. So let's say Tread's going to win this. And I think you guys need to make that Rams-Tampa game your game of the week. So next we'll go on to Phil v Ryan. 18 points from Adams is great news for Phil. It'd be better news if it hadn't been Adams' last points for Phil for about a month or so, because of that toe injury he sustained on Thursday night. Neither team are playing high-quality defenses this week. Ryan is playing the 19th ranked Ravens versus Phil, who's got the 20th ranked Seahawks coming into this one. I do wonder if either team are going to look for better options before 6 p.m. And I think that could be important in determining a victor here. I think Phil gets his first win of the season this week, if the teams stay the same anyway. Assuming, of course, he had a kicker, which he still hasn't done. Let's say Panthers versus Houston is your one to watch this week. Finally, we move on to Tris versus Tom. It's a Tris bye, which means one thing: Tris wins. Tom cannot defeat Tris on a Tris bye, and Tom has already decided this and helps determine his fate by leaving Rodgers on his bench after a fantastic victory for him. Well, actually, he lost, didn't he? Fantastic fantasy week for him versus the Eagles on Thursday night. Watch whatever game you want, it doesn't really matter. This one's already been decided. Tris has won it. Guys, have a good week, and I will tune in again next week. Cheers.